biggest red flag in a girl?
A woman who is not willing to work.
So you don't want to be like...
No, it's okay to like be retired when you're 30, but if you can't help your man succeed between the 20s, that's a red flag.
Okay, so you're saying like a girl needs to help you get to that point in your life to like be able...
Have to help you, but they can provide. They can show that they're willing to help.
How so though? Just like money-wise or what?
No, nothing's ever about money, but like...
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, these ladies are panicking. They're panicking. What are they gonna do about the future? Who's gonna pay all these bills? I don't want to work anymore. This is what these ladies are saying. You understand me? This is what these ladies are saying and crying all over the internet about. Posting up their phone with the tears rolling in their car so they can make a quick video for TikTok. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that hype, because you know you're gonna love the video. Matter of fact, here's a bomb for you. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Now, working is a normal part of life. Work. I think most of us are used to it. Sometimes we have a little less fun than usual.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to.
I'm seeing this new trend on social media where girls are fed up with the fact that they have to work. They don't want to be girl bosses anymore. They are asking to rewind the clock and go back to the times that they had to stay in the home and not actually go to work, which is incredibly ironic considering that feminism runs rampant in our world and we're told that all women just want to be girl bosses and that is what is going to make us very, very happy and fulfilled. Newsflash, maybe it does not. The video that sparked this entire episode and a lot of these conversations online is this TikTok.
Whoever fought for women to get jobs. Why? Why did we do that? I am so tired. I want to just put my feet up. Like oh my god.
6 million views, and the comments did not disappoint. Somebody said, for real, why did they do that? I would have been completely chill running a household, cooking, going shopping, cleaning, stress-free, like, ugh, I hate working.
I don't like my job, and I don't think I'm gonna go anymore.
Another person said, should have fought a little less hard. And then there were a lot of people who were saying, like, we wanted the opportunity to do it, but I didn't want to be forced to do it. Now, this even made its way to the men's rights subreddit, which is just always a trip and so interesting. But this person says, imagine having someone voluntarily work 60-hour work weeks for you, providing for your every need and want, while the only expectation is that you cook, clean, and care for the children. And considering that slavery and oppression, even just reading that paragraph is just shocking to me, because how have we been conditioned to believe that being taken care of and tending for your home and playing with adorable, cute little children that you birthed, that you created, is slavery? I wanted to see if I could actually quantify these sentiments that I'm seeing in the comment sections and on TikTok, of not wanting to work. However, I wanted to see what I could find, especially in terms of married women staying home, and I actually found a lot. 48% of women don't want to go back to work in the office full time. And this article says, a new study by PerceptXY, an employee listening and people analytics platform, found that compared to 6 months ago, 48% of women are less likely to want to return to their workplace in a full-time capacity. The report also highlights that over 2 million women have left the workforce entirely since the pandemic began. Quote, while it's shocking that more than 2 million women have left the workforce as a result of the pandemic, it's not that surprising that the majority of women looking for a hybrid work arrangement would prefer to spend fewer days in the office than their male counterparts. Have these journalists ever considered that maybe women find more fulfillment in those tasks, that they want to spend time with their children, that they would like to have a hybrid job so they can go home and take their kids to soccer or spend time with them or cook dinner for them because they love that? Maybe because we're good at that, because that's what we're actually designed to do.
It's getting ugly. I didn't know that half the women, well, I can understand it, but I didn't know that half the women, I was going to say half, the 48% were like, I don't want to go back to work. I understand it, but it's just, I've met women that love their jobs and even still they don't want to go back to work, and they love their jobs. 8 years, getting bachelors and masters, all these degrees and certifications. They don't want to go back to work. They don't want to do it. It sucks. They realized, they thought that they were going to come out here and they see men having a good time and getting the money and everything, and they thought that it was going to, listen, when women talk about how men are so jealous of them, it's projection. The more I listen to women speak about this, I'm like, you guys are projecting. You guys are jealous of us. You're trying to be like us. You're getting your cue on what it is to be successful from us. You don't see women going out here striving to be, man, I'm not going to go into it, but they're panicking. They're panicking, and it's only going to get worse.
I would never group anything in a monolith. I would say that that most women, the majority, the vast majority of women, if given the choice not to work or to work, would choose not to work.
Perhaps the majority.
And I don't think that that's true of men. I think that men would still choose to work, maybe not jobby jobs, but they would still choose to work. But I don't think most women would choose to work. And this bears out when you ask them if they would prefer to work or not work if they did not have to. Most of them say that they would prefer not to.
So do you think, because I always struggle to understand that, because for me, I am, like you say, men are hardwired to want to work. I think that is true for a majority, but for me, as someone who I could not see myself just not doing anything, I constantly have to be on the go.
Well, I think we're speaking past each other, so maybe we can clarify some things. It wouldn't be that you aren't doing anything, but let me ask you a question. Let's take a girl who works at Subway, and she says, I want to work, right?
Okay.
What the hell is the difference between her making a Subway sandwich for a customer and making a sandwich for her husband? I have never really understood that, you know what I mean? They're both work. It's just like, why would you want to go work for strangers instead of working for your family? I've never really understood that.
Well,
it just seems illogical and nonsensical to me.
I do understand that example. I think it just depends on occupation. Like for me, as someone who I wanted to be a lawyer, that's completely different. If you're, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I never understood that either. How that you can go to school. Women will talk about being controlled, right? They don't want to be controlled, but then they'll go to a job to work for a man who can fire them at any moment, who really doesn't care about them. This man tells them what to dress, how to eat, what time to eat, not how to eat. That tells you what to wear, what time you can eat, what time you can leave a lot of the time. He can allow you to or not to take days off of work. You'll do all of this for this man, and y'all will show up early, leave late, do all of this for a man who doesn't even care about you. But then when you find a husband or a man who wants to take you seriously and take you and your kids seriously, because a lot of women have kids nowadays, y'all give this man the hardest time when all he's trying to do is do right by you. But for that boss, you'll damn near take a bullet for your boss. Just because he's giving you a check, when that man who's at home, he'll do much more for you. He'll take a bullet for you. He'll give you his life. That boss can give you a check. Your husband or your boyfriend or fiance, whatever, if you pick a good man, he will give you his life. But ladies don't see that.
I don't want a job. I don't want to be a corporate girly. I don't want to climb the ladder. I don't want to be a boss babe. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be the breadwinner. I do not want to do that. You know what I want to do? I want to be home. I want to be cooking in the kitchen. I want to be cleaning. I want to be shopping. I want to be making brownies. I want to be cooking dinner. Making homemade meals every night, almost every night. I want to do all the things. I want to welcome my future husband home from work with a big bear hug and a, hey, you ready for dinner? Dinner's on the table. I want to watch movies with him every night. I want to send him off to work in the morning with some nice, freshly baked muffins. I don't want a 9-to-5. I don't want a job. I don't want to work from home. No, it's not for me. I don't want it. It's not, I reject that. My future husband's gonna be the breadwinner. He's going to bring in the dough. He will be raking it in. And I'll be right there cheering him on as I go buy 17 decorative pillows for our bed. Okay? That's the life for me.
Okay, so she is, I know that sounded nice, but if you really just sit back and break down what she said, it's really not that great, because she's doing what a lot of other women do, which is only talk about what she wants. She's only talking about what she wants. She's talking about a man who's going to be, quote unquote, raking in the dough. So now she's expecting a very high earner. She's expecting a very high earner, especially when she talks about going to buy all of this stuff. She said she wants to go shopping. She wants to go buy all these decorative pillows. She wants to do all this stuff. So that man has to pay for that. And then she said, and I want to make dinner. What did she say? Pretty much saying that she wasn't going to make dinner every single night. So this man has to go out, has to go compete for the world and do all of these things just to keep you in I guess a luxurious lifestyle, and you can't even cook every single day. He has to pay the bills and be the man every single. This is what I be talking about. I said this in my earlier videos. that these women want conditional, I guess, conditional femininity, or they only want to be a wife when they feel like being a wife. If she's tired, she's not going to want to cook. And she's going to say, babe, can we just order some takeout or something? No, get in there and cook. If I have to pay the bills every single month, I don't get to take a break from protecting you. I don't get to take a break from being a masculine man. I don't get to take a break from paying the bills. Why is it that you get to take a break from cooking and cleaning, which isn't even that hard? It's not even that hard. To make a simple meal isn't even that hard. With all of these food, fresh meals ready to go, the factory meals, all of these things that you have at your disposal, and you can't even cook every single night. I can understand like an anniversary, maybe a special outing or something like that, but for the most part, you should be in that damn near all the time. You should be in that kitchen cooking the meals, because that is your job. That is your job. My job is to protect and provide. Your job is to feed me. If I'm doing all of this and you can't even do your simple job of feeding me, then I don't even need you. And that's where a lot of men are right now.
What's the biggest red flag in a girl?
A woman who is not willing to work.
So you don't want to be like...
No, it's okay to like be retired when you're 30, but if you can't help your man succeed between the 20s, that's a red flag.
Okay, so you're saying like a girl needs to help you get to that point in your life to like be able...
They have to help you, but they can provide. They can show that they're willing to help.
How so though? Just like money-wise or what?
No, nothing's ever about money, but like emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Groceries, for example. If it's like you're $50 short, she can provide the $50. Ooh, she's showing she's willing to help you. That's it. That's all it takes. It's nothing crazy. I'm not asking you to pay rent. I can do that. But, you know, just simple.
The ultimate thing that men are saying and asking for when it comes to these modern day women is we're not really asking for a 50-50 relationship. Most men are saying we just want you to invest in us like we invest in you. So too many women come into a relationship like, what is he going to do for me? He has to prove himself for me, instead of we need to prove ourselves to each other. So I see what he's doing for me. Now I'm going to reciprocate that energy and do something for him. He paid for dinner the last 2 times. You know what? I'm going to cook him a meal this time. I'm going to cook him a meal with some dessert this time, just to show him that I'm investing in him. I know that he likes chicken, so I'm going to make his favorite, or I'm going to make a chicken dish that he might like. Just put in some effort. Women always talking about how we should put in effort for them, but y'all never want to reciprocate. You never ever. And then you think that just your presence is good enough. Your presence, it's like, who do y'all think y'all are? Like, when I hear some of these women talking, I really want to pull them to the side and say, who do you think you are? That your presence is enough. They think that they're like gods or goddesses. You hear women saying ridiculous, I want to be worshipped. If you ever heard a man say something like that, come on, man. This man would be canceled. But women are just they are openly saying, I want to be worshipped by a man. This is ridiculous.
Hot take, but I don't want to work anymore. God has completely removed that like boss babe mentality from me. I desire nothing more than to be provided for. Now let me say, if somebody's providing for you, I truly believe though that you are serving them and serving your family. I don't want somebody to just be providing for me and I'm like laying on the couch doing nothing. I want to serve my family if my husband is providing for me. And it's so funny because for so many years I had this like super masculine, like I want to be a boss babe and I want to do all these things, like, and I still enjoy what I do. Like I run I'm a hairstylist. I run a small business and I make content on the side and I love what I do. Like it brings me so much joy to spread the gospel online and I get to make people feel pretty all day. It's like a privilege and an honor to do my job. However, with that being said, I would much rather be cooking and cleaning for my husband and running my kids to soccer practice. If I had to choose one or the other, I'm for sure every time going to choose my husband and my family. That I don't even have yet, but I know that the Lord puts the desire, he knows the desires of our heart because he puts them there. So it's just funny that the Lord will completely change the way that.
Yo, listen, it sounds good. Have y'all ever went to like a Facebook marketplace, or if you're a little bit older, went to Craigslist and you seen all of the pretty pictures and you know, all of the imperfections was hidden and the engine was cleaned on a car that you was trying to observe. Or it didn't even have to be a car. It could have been anything that you was searching for that you seen and you wanted to go and check it out. Or I don't know if y'all have ever seen pictures of a house online and you're like, you know what? I want to go and see that house to buy or to rent. And I might want to live there. It just seems like it's just too good to be true. And that particular ad is going to get a lot of calls. And so when you then call them, they're going to be like, you know what? It's a lot of people calling me right now. You're just going to have to pull up with the money and just the price is the price and all of this stuff. And then you get there, right? And you start kicking the tires a little bit. And you tell them to cut on the engine and the engine is knocking, you know? And you know that they put the lubricant in there to try to prevent the engine from knocking. Or, you know, you open up the car or you start to see that they put a little bit of Bondo right here and the paint ain't the same on this side as it is on that side. Or you go into that house, right? And you realize that, you know what? Let me drive by here at night and the neighborhood is not so ideal, or, you know, they got a lot of repairs that they need to make and stuff. And you trying to justify it in your mind, but your spirit and everything in you is telling you, listen, to walk away from this situation. This is the same type of situation as sufficient relationships. Walk away from this situation, fellas.
Women who say they don't want to work are losers. To understand what women actually had to go to have the right to work, to have women rights to begin with, and for you to utter out your mouth that you don't want to work, like you really want to give somebody the ability to feed you and starve you, to be taken care of all over some bills, it's insane when you really think about it. The reason why women fought so hard for women rights, because men had the right to get away with so many things, and one of them being is they were able to beat the living shit out of them just because, and suffer no consequences to their actions for doing so. Also, again, the ability to feed and starve you, the financial abuse. When you trust in yourself to be able to provide for you, you understand the power that you hold as a woman. And the Boston Richie and the Tatiana Chanel situation is a prime example as to why women fought so hard for rights. So many women younger than her, also older than her, admired the fact that she was having her way, but she jeopardized and sacrificed so much just to receive. So when women say they don't want to work, that's loser, lame ass bitch mentality. That's just what it is.
Listen, this is one of those women who has watched too many Tyler Perry movies and don't really know about history. A lot of women didn't even want the right to work. They didn't want it. They're like, to work for what? We ain't really trying to do this. Feminism came along, pushed a lie to a lot of simple-minded ladies. They believed the lie, took the gamble, and now they're reaping what, all these decades later, you're reaping what your ancestors have sown. Now you have all these women, and then if it was so bad, then why do all these women want to go back? If men were just these terrible monsters, why do all of these women want to go back? And then what happened to all these men that were monsters? You think they just went away? All of these so-called men that were just beating up women, doing all these horrible things that you have seen on these TikTok videos that aren't true, that you can't find no evidence for. You cannot find any evidence for all of these men just beating up their wives for no reason. You can't find it. You can't find it. And if it was so bad, why do these women want to go back to it? Did it happen? I'm sure it did, because obviously there are some people that are terrible. There are some men that are just absolutely horrible men, but there are way more good men that stop those bad men. But we never get a thank you. Never get a thank you. Thank you, men, for saving us from these terrible men who are beating us up. We created a law system to put the bad men behind bars, but we don't get a thank you for that, because ladies only see what you don't do. They're not appreciative. They just see what you don't do and what they don't have. She's going to be one of these ladies in about maybe 5 to 7 years coming back saying, I don't want to work anymore. Where have all the good men gone? And at this very moment, I'm pretty sure as she's sitting in, looks like the trunk of a car, I'm pretty sure that she has overlooked a lot of good men that could have helped her. That I'm not gonna put it on her because I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a psychologist or whatever, how all these other ladies do. But it seems like she might have gone through something and it's still lingering on her a little bit. But what do I know?
Women are not meant to be working these 40-hour-a-week corporate desk jobs. Okay, if you have gone from your super ambitious, climb the corporate ladder era straight into not even wanting to work at all, if that is you, this is the truth that no one is gonna say out loud, and you're probably not gonna wanna hear this, but the 9 to 5 wasn't built for women, right? We were told to spend our 20s and 30s sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, commuting to an office, asking permission to go on vacation twice a year, waiting 40 years to finally enjoy our lives. And the worst part is that most women, we don't actually hate working. We just hate feeling trapped. We hate knowing that our entire lifestyle literally depends on one paycheck. And we hate choosing between making money and having freedom. That's why you don't need another job. You need what I call a corporate exit fund, okay? A way to start building income outside of your paycheck so that your job eventually becomes optional. That's exactly what sales did for me. So, how you're gonna do this is something called remote closing, like closing deals for online companies. I made 10K my first month, 7.8K part-time, and then when I went all in on this, 30, 40, even $50,000 months. And it's not because I started some massive business or became an influencer, it's just from learning one skill, learning how to sell. And the coolest part is I've seen women from every background do the same thing. Nurses, women in hospitality, corporate professionals, even doctors, lawyers, like women who just wanted more freedom, more income, their money was great, more control over their lives, because sales isn't necessarily about working more, it's about creating options, buying back your time, having the freedom to work from anywhere, make your own schedule, and stop relying on one paycheck to survive. So if you've been feeling deep down like you know you're meant for more than just sitting in traffic, answering emails, waiting for Friday, this is your sign. Start building your corporate exit fund now.
Okay, so her solution to women not wanting to work their regular job is to continue to work your regular job, but pick up a side hustle and then work that until you're earning enough money so that you can quit your first job. So now you have a second job. So pick up a second job until that does good enough to where you can quit the first job. But at the end of the day, you still have a job. That's the point she's missing. Women don't want to work. They don't want to work. You're telling them to jump into a brand new career field. And so, do you know how hard sales is? A lot of sales is built and contingent on the fact that you have a good rapport and build good relationships with other companies and other people. You know how much work that is? That's more work than, and then if you're making all of this money, how is it that no one else has found this secret? No one else has found this secret except for you. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. But guys, that's it for today's video. If you haven't already done so, hit that like button, hit that hype, because we're growing the channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you want another good video, click this one on the left. If you want a great one, click this one on the right. And I will see you in another one.